You didn't come here to escape. You came here to emit. This is not a meditation for peace. It's a transmission for power, a calibration of frequency, not a vacation from thought. You've journaled. You've visualized. You've whispered affirmations into the dark. And still, something hasn't moved. Why? Because you've been treating the universe like a store and your mind like a wish list, hoping that clarity will convince the cosmos to deliver. But this field doesn't respond to thoughts. It responds to signals. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you broadcast. And every breath you take in this practice is not a request. It's a rehearsal of the version of you who already has it. So this time, we don't try to relax. We don't hope to align. We tune in like a transmitter. We lock on like a satellite. We become the very pattern the field recognizes as already done, because energy doesn't lie and the quantum doesn't wait. It reflects you in real time, not your desires, your dominance. So drop it now, not to escape the world, but to recode it from the inside out, not to ask the field to move, but to remind it, you already are the signal. Deep breath in, not to soften, but to ignite. Cyclone, brief breath sound, or sonic pulse. But this takes us deeper, because the real shift doesn't begin in thought. It begins in signal. You think you're manifesting your future, but most days, you're just reliving your past. Energetically, emotionally, neurologically, because the field doesn't respond to your goals. It responds to your baseline, your broadcast when you're not even trying, your default setting when no one's watching. 95% of what you emit, it doesn't come from the conscious mind. It comes from the body, from rehearsed emotions, from memorized states, from a nervous system still looping through yesterday. You don't realize it, but every day you wake up and subconsciously become the same signal. You're praying to transcend. That's not your fault. It's how the system was wired. But now we rewire. This is a meditation to clear your mind. It's meditation to clear your frequency. Because you are a radio trying to dial into a future station while still playing static from yesterday's fear, last week's shame, a lifetime's worth of not yet. No wonder it feels like the field isn't listening. It is. It's just responding to a signal. That's out of sync with your intention. You don't attract what you think about. You attract what you normalize. So today, we don't just change the narrative. We change the nervous system that's been rehearsing it. And that begins with a new embodiment pattern, a new energetic rehearsal, broadcasted through breath, emotion, and cellular memory. So how do we change the signal? Not just the story. That's where embodiment begins. Thought is not the transmission. It's just the prompt. The real signal is embodiment. You can't just think abundance and expect the field to rearrange. You must feel it, live it, broadcast it before it's even arrived. Because the quantum field doesn't hear English. It hears electromagnetic signature. Your vibration isn't made of words. It's made of coherence. When your heart, brain, and body are no longer contradicting each other. You say, I am ready, but your chest tightens. Your gut clenches. Your breath forgets to move. And the field? It mirrors what's felt, not what's said. So if the nervous system is still rehearsing fear, lack, unworthiness, then that's what the field reflects. Not to punish you, but to remind you. You are the transmitter. This is why we don't just think the new timeline. We rehearse it in the body, in the emotion, in the rhythm of our breath and beat of our heart. Coherence is when the future you and the present you start speaking the same frequency. So right now, don't think about what you want. Feel what it would feel like to have always been it. Let your chest soften. Let the breath drop deeper. Not to relax, but to realign. Because when the signal changes, reality follows. And yet, most people try to feel their future while fearing their present. You've set the intention. You've held the vision. You've done the inner work. And still, it doesn't land. Why? Because your nervous system doesn't prioritize your expansion. It prioritizes your safety. If receiving feels unsafe, you won't receive. Not because you're blocked, but because you're being protected. You're not stuck. You're self-protecting. The body doesn't argue with desire. It just checks. Have we survived this before? If not, it hesitates. It contracts. It holds the brakes, even when the heart says go. This is the gateway. That's not sabotage most people miss. It's wisdom. Your quantum field won't expand. beyond what your nervous system believes is survivable. So before surrender comes safety. Before permission comes regulation. Before manifestation comes coherence between your body and your becoming. This is where trauma science meets spiritual truth. The body follows pattern, not potential. It clings to what's familiar, even if the familiar is fear. Unless we recalibrate. Polyvagal theory teaches us this. Your body doesn't just react, it remembers. And until it feels safe with the signal of expansion, it'll loop back to protection every time. So today, we don't override the body. We honor it. We listen not to story, but to sensation. Because the shift doesn't start with thought. It starts with trust, felt, in the body, in this moment. So take a breath and let your body know. It's safe to soften. It's safe to open. It's safe to receive. But here's what no one tells you. Energy doesn't move through force. It moves through allowance. In the old paradigm, you were taught to try harder, to grip tighter, to push your will into the world like a hammer shaping stone. But in the quantum, force is noise. Coherence is power. You don't manifest by effort. You manifest by entrainment, letting your entire system synchronize with the frequency of what already is. It's not about doing more. It's about being tuned. One clear signal, just one, can recalibrate your entire field. Not because it's loud, but because it's true. So stop trying to visualize it perfectly. Stop forcing the feeling. The signal doesn't need volume. It needs resonance. Let it rise. Let it fill you. Not like a command, but like a remembering. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Feel the signal. Breathe the signal. Be the signal. Let it move from the center of your chest into the rhythm of your breath, into the language of your cells. This is not about repetition. It's about recognition. A felt knowing that says, this is me now. This is how it feels to already be aligned. This is the version of me the field reflects back without hesitation. The more you feel it, the more the nervous system accepts it, the more the field entrains to it. And suddenly, you're no longer asking. You're becoming. So what are we actually activating in these 5 minutes? Let's go to the field. The quantum field isn't judging you. It's not testing you. It's not holding back your desires to teach you a lesson. It's just reflecting you. Not as punishment, but as physics. You keep saying, I want more. But the field doesn't respond to want. It responds to wavelength. Because everything, every thought, every cell, every emotion is emitting a frequency. Even when you're silent, even when you're unsure. Atoms don't lie, and neither does consciousness. This is where science meets the soul. Your future isn't waiting in time. It's waiting in resonance. You don't magnetize by begging. You magnetize by harmonizing, by becoming such a match that the field has no choice but to reflect you back to yourself in form. So ask yourself gently right now, what frequency am I available for? Not just in words, but in posture, in sensation, in breath. Because the future you desire doesn't need more vision boards. It needs more vibrational truth. And here's the shift. The field doesn't give you what you daydream about. It gives you what your nervous system believes is normal, what your body is trained to receive without flinching. So today, we recalibrate. We don't chase alignment. We become coherent with it. We sync to the signal. We meet the version of reality that was already broadcasting, waiting for you to tune in. And now, we enter the recalibration. Now, close your eyes. Let the outside world dissolve. Let the body settle. Spine tall, chin slightly tucked, heart open, and breathe. Not to calm, but to connect. Bring your awareness gently to the center of your chest. Not the mind, the field within the body. This is where alignment begins. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breath deepen. There's nowhere else to go. Nothing to force. No timeline to chase. You're not visualizing a future. You're stepping into the version of you who already lives it, already breathes it, already broadcasts it. So with your next inhale, breathe as if it's already done. Feel what that version of you feels like. What does their body say? What emotion do they normalize? What frequency hums at the center of their chest? With every heartbeat, now let your exhale soften the resistance. Let it melt the static. Let it make space for something deeper. You are not imagining. You are remembering. The signal has always been inside you. You're just tuning to it fully now. Let your next few breaths anchor you in that becoming. No effort, no force, just presence. You're not preparing. You are aligning. You're not asking. You are rehearsing your frequency.
Let go of the
Now,
image.
let's
Let go of
rehearse
your
your scene.
frequency.
You're not here to picture the future. You're here to rehearse its signal. Not the outcome, but the emotion it lives inside of. So breathe in, not a goal, but a frequency. What does safety feel like? As a color in your chest? What is the texture of abundance? As it moves through your spine? What's the temperature of self-trust in your belly? When you stop bracing for disappointment, this isn't about pretending. It's about patterning, teaching your body a new emotional truth. One breath at a time. No need to force. No need to script. Just feel the tone of a life you're becoming coherent with. Joy might not shout, but maybe it glows. Maybe it pulses like golden light beneath your ribs. Maybe freedom is a breeze where your fear used to sit. Let the mind rest. Let the body lead. You're not chasing change. You're becoming signal safe. A frequency so familiar, the field begins to reflect it without resistance. This is how we imprint. Through breath, through repetition, through resonance. Let this signal settle deeper, not as a wish, but as a new normal. And as you hold this state, not perfectly, but presently, something subtle begins to echo back. There's a moment, subtle but unmistakable, when your body whispers, yes, not a thought, not a hope, but a felt click between what you are and what you've been calling in. This is coherence. When the breath slows, the heart finds rhythm, and the brain waves shift into harmony with something beyond thinking. It's not mystical. It's measurable. Heart math calls it physiological coherence, a state where your emotional, respiratory, and cognitive systems stop competing and start resonating. Like a tuning fork, when you hum the right tone, the universe, quietly, precisely, begins to vibrate with you. You're not just aligned, you're attuned. So feel for it now. The soft yes in the body, the inner click that says, this is safe, this is real, this is mine. You're not forcing coherence. You're allowing it, like dropping into a current that was always there, waiting for your resistance to relax. This is the moment the field listens. Not because you've earned it, but because your signal is stable. This is where the nervous system says, I know this frequency. I can live here. So breathe again, as if nothing is missing, as if this frequency is the floor, not the exception. Because the field doesn't just reflect what's powerful. It reflects what's consistent. And now, for a moment, you're no longer separate from your vision. But alignment isn't something you maintain. It's something you return to over and over. You don't have to grip this feeling. You don't have to hold it like it might float away. Let it hold you. This is the shift. You're no longer chasing alignment. You're being carried by coherence. The signal you rehearsed? It's not a performance. It's becoming a home. Neuroscience calls this entrainment. Repetition that rewires. Emotions rehearsed often enough don't stay conscious. They become automatic. What once felt like magic starts to feel like your baseline. So breathe with me. What if this feeling, this grounded calm, this steady knowing, this quiet yes in your chest, what if this became your new normal? What if you stopped visiting abundance and started living in it? What if joy didn't spike and fade, but stayed? Like gravity? You don't need to earn that. You just need to get familiar with it. So we let the nervous system rest here. We let the breath stay soft. We let the field feel the stability of our signal. Because this is the key. It's not how high you can spike the emotion. It's how deeply you can live in it without forcing it to stay. So stop the mental checklist. You're not doing it wrong. You're just remembering what it feels like to be held by the very frequency you once tried to grip. Let it hold you now. And when the feeling becomes familiar, the reflection becomes inevitable. Reality isn't fixed. It's not a wall you push against. It's a mirror that bends to coherence. What you see out there isn't proof of who you are. It's just the echo of who you used to be. So if your life still looks the same, don't panic. Don't backpedal. Don't collapse the frequency. Because you're not living your current signal. You're living your past emission. What's unfolding right now was set in motion by an old version of you. The field takes its cue from the now, but form takes time to ripple forward. So breathe, not in waiting, but in certainty. You're no longer reacting to circumstances. You are entraining them. You are hearing the past, but broadcasting the future. The universe is not ignoring you. It's reorganizing, shifting, aligning the external to match the new internal. Don't leave the frequency before the reflection arrives. Because if the frequency is real, if you've embodied it, rehearsed it, normalized it, then the form must follow. It's not hope, it's physics. So stop scanning for proof. Start scanning for resonance. The field is always listening, and reality is always catching up. So instead of looking for proof, listen for the echo. Now, pay attention, not with urgency, with curiosity, because the field is responding. It always has been, but the signals are subtle. You're not looking for fireworks. You're looking for breadcrumbs. A conversation you needed appears. A doorway opens where there wasn't one before. An idea lands in your chest like it's always been there. Synchronicities, sparks, stillness that suddenly feels different. But most people miss it, not because it isn't happening, but because they're watching the wrong channel. They're scanning for resistance instead of resonance. So today, shift the lens. What's moving toward you? What feels softer? Where is the universe saying yes? In small, specific ways? Because what you witness amplifies. And resistance? It's not failure. It's just friction. Your nervous system adjusting to a new normal. Old programs making their final noise. Before dissolving, don't react to it. Return a signal. This is the mastery, the ability to stay coherent. In the presence of contrast, to feel the doubt rise, and still breathe the frequency, to sense the delay, and still trust the echo. So let this become your inner compass. Resonance before reaction, feel before form, signal before story. Because even now, especially now, the field is whispering back. And now, as your field stabilizes, a final anchoring. Now, return to you, not the one who's waiting, the one who's already there. The future you've been calling in is not somewhere else. It's not someday soon. It's a frequency pattern, and that pattern is already available in you. So stop reaching. Start anchoring. Who are you when it's already done? How do they walk? How do they speak? What do they tolerate less? And trust more? How do they breathe? When they're not negotiating with the universe anymore. Feel that version. Not above you, not ahead of you, but within you. Now, because you've rehearsed the signal, you've recalibrated the field, and now it's time to stabilize the self. So even when this meditation ends, make one micro choice that aligns with that version. One conversation, one posture, one shift in how you enter a room. You don't need a perfect life. You need a coherent identity. Because this wasn't a request to the universe. This wasn't begging the quantum for a breakthrough. This was a rehearsal of the inevitable. You're not manifesting. You're matching. You're not attracting. You're remembering. Say it silently now. This isn't manifestation. It's magnetic remembrance. One last breath. One last integration. Let's close the loop. And now, let the silence stay with you. The meditation may be ending, but the transmission continues. In the next 24 hours, watch what shows up. Not because you're forcing outcomes, not because you're seeking signs, but because the field is already responding. Don't chase. Observe. Don't react. Resonate. Look not for proof, but for echoes. A shift in conversation. A door that opens without effort. A sense of inner stillness, where you used to brace. Let this be your posture. I trust what comes, because I trust what I've become. You're not waiting. You're transmitting. You're not asking. You're anchored. You've moved from thinking to feeling, from desiring to embodying. And now the feel moves. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. Let that be enough, because coherence is what the field mirrors. Safety is what allows reception. And alignment isn't something you chase. It's something you return to over and over. So as you step back into the world, stay sensitive, stay soft, stay open to the subtle. And if you're ready, in the comments, drop one word. That names your frequency this week. Not for me, for the field. A final breath now. No words, just silence. Let land. Beat of stillness. No music, no voice.